Hi everyone, my name is Maria and I am the Green Stitcher here on Flosstube and over on Instagram. And I'm sitting back down to talk to you about my mostly my Mirabilia and Nora Corbett experience so far and going forward. Welcome if you are new here. I am a cross stitcher from Belarus who lives in the UK and have been stitching for about 9 years now. And welcome back if you are returning. So good to have you back here. I hope you'll enjoy this video. If you have any questions, as always, ask them below in the comments, message me on Instagram or email me at mariathegreenstitcher@gmail.com. So what I was thinking I would do with this video is I would start with showing you things that are sort of up to date now. So an FFO, a WIP that I'm planning to work on, a thing that I'm planning to start, like I said, during the course of the video, and then a start that I'm doing later in the month for Mira and Nora November. And then I will switch off today, go on my other business, and then I'll see you in little clips that I'll be filming throughout the next couple of weeks. So I'm actually off for my birthday for a week, and so I'm hoping to have a bit more stitchy time and have a bit more time to show you things in nice natural daylight, show you what I do with some of my whips and my stitching, and so yeah, and just talk to you a bit about my plans for November. So just a tiny sort of story about how we got here in the first place. So I remember very vividly when I filmed my first video for my Russian language channel for cross stitch. I said I don't do samplers, I don't do mirabilias, I don't do primitives, and that was about 5 or 6 years ago now, and that has definitely been I've had a change of heart basically on all of those things, but when I finally decided and felt brave enough to start in Mirabilia was August last year, 2023. I started my first ever design, and I'll insert the picture here. It was Blossom by Mirabilia Designs, and I hand-dyed fabric for her at that point. She was meant to be stitched on a light purple, I think it's called Peaceful Purple Witchell linen in 32 count, and I over dyed it with which color was it? Purple? Magenta? I over dyed it with a red dye. If you need specifics, feel free to ask me. And so I started her then. I think I did a good, 1,000, 2,000 stitches kind of start on her, and then put her aside for a while, stitched on her on and off for a bit, and then finally sort of got the call to come back to her, to give her more love, to give her more time, and with absolute pleasure and a lot of enjoyment, honestly, I finished her in April. I'll again insert the picture of her here, and I had a really good time and a really positive experience stitching on my first Mirabilia. I had picked my favorite fabric. I used all of the called for things, and I decided to stitch her on a scroll frame and bead her as I went, and add felt strips in between the layers when I was scrolling my frame, which ended up being a wonderful experience. Like I said, really positively on all sides, and I just really enjoyed working on her throughout. So I really loved stitching from the bottom up. So I finished, with the face and with the crown and whatever she has on her head, so that I bead as I go and I don't have, another week or two or however long left at the end to bead her. And it's a continuous progress of you finish a piece of it completely, and you get so enabled, so inspired, seeing all the beads, seeing all the colors, to go on further and further. And doing it on a scroll frame, I feel like, gives me the most freedom to do that, so I can stitch straight away with silks, with cryonic, with beads, and then I don't wash it at the end then. At most, what I might do is, like I said, sprinkle it with some water from a sprinkler, and then iron it with dry heat, no steam, on maximum temperature that my iron allows me. I find that that does magic with linen and just works really well. So the reason I brought it up today is, besides the fact that she was my first ever started and finished Mirabilia, she has also been FFO'd. I did it actually in October, so I technically should have shown you guys in my previous video, but I felt like it would be a perfect segue into, you know, this Nora Mira kind of video, and I decided to hold back a bit and show her to you now. So here is my FFO'd Blossom, and I think she is stunning. So like I said, stitched her on my hand-dyed fabric, and I decided that purple, dark purple, would be the best color for her to be framed into. I do not pick frames to go with my interior design. I don't do it to match other designs necessarily either. And so what my philosophy in framing is, I normally pick one of the darkest colors or one of like the prominent colors of the design and go with that. This didn't feel like it needed any matting, so I just got this lovely, it's darker than it's showing to you on camera. I think it's just glaring off my lights a bit. It's a dark purple with a bit of a shine to it, and it perfectly matches some of the darkest purples in her bow, in here as well, and I think it just looks really, really lovely. And there she is, absolutely FFO'd. I am so happy that I did it before, you know, November now, and that my first ever Mirabilia is finished, FFO'd. It was hanging on the wall for a bit before I put my Garden Spells by Shepherd's Bush on there instead. So now she's standing on a chest of drawers here, and again, making me feel so, so happy and so inspired, honestly, every time I look at her. So again, if you haven't seen my previous video, I'll just repeat it here as well. I frame my own pieces. I buy ready-made frames if that works, or get custom-sized frames, but again, do all the framing myself. I use acid-free matting boards without any glue, without any sticky anything. I lace my pieces on the back. I don't use any glass, as I prefer it that way, and then I don't really close the backing either. I just leave it sort of like this. I haven't had any issues. I've had pieces hanging on my walls for a good 10-15 years now, so, as I did used to stitch when I was at school as well. So there we go, there she is. What do you guys think? I love her. She is so beautiful. So this definitely started a thing for me. I gave her the time, I gave her the love, and she drew me into this world of fancy ladies, Mirabilias, Nora Corbett's, and definitely changed my mind on the whole I don't stitch Mirabilia thing. I would say I tend to be more drawn to the newer designs than the older ones, though it depends on the design. I am very much in love, as you might know, with Japanese culture and Japanese cuisine and language and a lot of things. And so what I've decided to do for myself is I'm basically stitching a ladies in kimonos kind of series that I made up myself. They are not in kimonos as intended by Nora, as far as I know. I've just sort of decided that they are because they look to me like they are. So Blossom was the first one in that self-made series. Then the second design that I have in the series is actually my only current Mirabilia WIP, and it is Miss Dancing Flower. And she is, again, I think she was released somewhere around the time that Blossom was, and she is an absolute beauty as well. What is interesting is that somehow subconsciously, I guess, my eyes were drawn to the same color palette on all three. So all three share shades of green and purples and oranges, and that's sort of the predominant color palette for these designs. She is MD 170, She is meant to be stitched on my actual favorite linen, which is Water Lily by Witchout. However, I have decided to put her on something a bit more purple. Again, not intentionally, but somehow this series is going to be stitched on purple for me. So this is where she is today, 3rd of November. And the reason I'm showing her to you is I am planning to work on her this month for Nora / Mira November. So she is on 32 count Crystal Da Vinci linen by Picture This Plus. And she's stitched with everything called for, DMC, silks, beads, everything. And as you might be able to see, I'm already beading. Like I said, my favorite way, as I know it now, to stitch Mirabilias is bottom up and bead as I go. And I will be putting felt lining felt strips between the layers when I scroll my frame. So it's a lovely color of fabric. It's quite complex. There's quite a lot of shades in it. There's purples and pinks and slight blues and greens as well, but I think it just goes so perfectly with this design. So she's stunning and I love her. The only thing I've changed is she has some like antennae there that are called a crown in the design. I don't love them. I'm confused by them a bit, so I've gotten rid of them on my pattern. So I'm only doing, so basically I'm not doing the antennae, and I've gotten rid of the beads that are on them as well. So I'm just doing her and the dress and the flowers and the ribbons, obviously. And I just love it. And I feel like, and tell me I'm wrong, look, the flowers in the garland that she's holding kind of look like the flowers in her dress. So I don't know if they're sisters or friends or someone else from me or some, you know, blossom goddesses or someone, but yeah. So I've decided she's going to be my second in the series of ladies in kimonos. And then my third one, the one that's probably one of the most popular recently released ones, is Princess Eliana. I think you're not surprised. You've seen her in my stash. She is gorgeous. She has the same sort of purple and orange and green color palette, and I love her. She is my stash. She has nothing ready for her. I don't think... Well, I probably have some beads, but I only have the fabric for her. So basically she's meant to be stitched on Peaceful Purple, same as the Blossom. However, I'm going to stitch her on the same fabric as I'm doing the Dancing Flower. So it's going to be a 32 count Crystal Da Vinci by Picture This Plus. I had a fat half and I split it into 2 parts for Dancing Flower and her. She is not going to be my start this month, not an immediate start at all. This series of the 3 of them, I'm planning to run, you know, one after another, definitely not 2 at the same time. They are, you know, well, not big ladies. They're only about 22,000 stitches, but still, that's a substantial amount of stitching for me. So she's remaining in my stash for now. She doesn't actually have any silks, I'm just looking now, but I would prefer to get an embellishment pack for her rather than try to sort out the beads, and I think it's still available, so I might just go ahead and do that. So that's my series of ladies in kimonos. Again, I put air quotes because I don't think they're meant to be in kimonos. To me, they look like they are, and that's what I'm doing with those. And then the other stash design that I'm not planning to start this month, but I just wanted to show you again because she is a unique design that I haven't seen, I don't think ever, until I started, you know, looking her up. And I honestly can't wait to start her, but I've decided to start something else, and you'll see that in a minute. So it is my first and maybe only, I don't know yet, Mermaid. And again, it's purple and green and orange. I don't know what it is about this color palette that entices me so much, but that's all I want to stitch basically. So she is Sunrise Laguna Mermaid. She's actually a Nora, not a Mira, as you can see. And she is NC211. And I love her. She's so, so beautiful. Green hair definitely got me, you guys. And the purples, again, it's the purples. So I think I got her on a from Facebook Market from someone destashing a closed crusted shop in the UK, and it smells a bit like it's been sat in somebody's stash for a while, but I think that's irrelevant as long as it's a new pattern anyway. It's never been opened. It's maybe a little bit crinkled. So what I'm planning to do with her is I need to gather all the materials. She needs 3 colors of water lilies, quite a few beads, treasures as well. I'm having some sun shining into her face. I haven't started getting anything together for her yet, except I accidentally found the most perfect fabric for her. It is an opalescent linen by Geoderai Designs. I've been told they don't dye fabric anymore and they were based in the UK. The colour is called the Mermaid's Tail and it's a fat quarter based on Belfast. And it's this most beautiful tealy green with slightest purple hints here and there. Maybe we'll see better this way. Oh, there we go. Lovely. I don't think I need the whole piece. I'm pretty sure I don't. But I haven't sat down and looked at it properly, like I said, just yet. I know one of the colors that I need for her I'm using in a different design, so I will first stitch that, and I'll actually show you that design today. But yeah, I'll be very honest with you. I'm very tempted to convince myself that a mermaid is not the same as a fancy lady, which is obviously not, but to allow myself to start, oh, I've got a fancy lady on the go, and I've got the mermaid on the go, and I've got a different Nora on the go, but I don't think I have enough time this month to actually start her, and I think the frame mostly uses silks that I probably don't have, so it is not likely that I will start it, and I'm not planning to, but I guess you'll see at the end of the month if I've changed my mind and I've gone rogue and decided to start her anyways. Right, so that is all of my current finishes, FFOs, WIPs and stash that I'm not planning to start. And then I've got 2 designs that I really want to start this month and I've planned to do so. So one is not a surprise for you. I'm pretty sure I've shown it before. You know it, you love it. Let me actually show you the companion piece. In May 2024, during my mania, I started my first ever Nora Corbett design, not a Mira design, and it was the winter hair that is now completely finished and framed as well. And I chose a much darker fabric for it than she calls for and decided to frame it quite close to the design as well. And it is lovely. And it's been still set on my chest of drawers, though it's completely out of season. Now it's kind of silly to put it away because it's so close to winter. So a companion piece to the hair for me is going to be the winter owl. So like I said, I'm going to have an owl forest embroidery start for my actual birthday, and then during the month of November, probably closer to the end, I'm also planning to start the owl because it's got quite a lot of greens, it's an owl, and it's a Nora November. So I really want to have her done by the end of the year. It's only tiny, it's like 2,500 stitches, and it's actually half the amount of work that the hair is. I am planning to put her, and I've already got it all prepped and ready to go, on the same dark linen as I did the hair. So this is 32 count Pictures Plus linen in color Dawn. Lovely. Oh, I thought I had a piece of lint on it, but that's how I marked the center of the design for myself, I guess. So I think I've got everything I need for the owl. I've got the leftover silk from the hair. You need the pine forest. Yep. Lovely color. So this is the color I need for the mermaid as well. And because I already stitched hair with it and I need to do the owl as well, so they match, just so there's definitely no difference in the dye lot, I will be using the leftovers of this on the mermaid. And actually the next design that I'll show you has this color as well. So the thing I'm most excited about today, honestly I cannot wait, you guys. I have shown you some of it in my October update video. I talked to you about how lucky I was to have found it on eBay auction and won it at half price. And here is my new obsession and my new favorite design. And like I said, for me, the most beautiful Mirabilia design ever. It is the Goddess Garden. So I haven't fallen in love with it until I actually started looking at it closer, when I already decided to try and win the auction. And when I did, I was amazed at how beautiful and stunning this is. So the design is based on the fountain that's located in the Botanical Garden in New York. And you can Google it and actually find the design and the photos of the fountain online. There are at least 3, maybe 4 statues on the actual fountain, and Nora has only put 2. It does look very similar and definitely has that vibe. The whole greenhouse, like the ceiling of it, is filled with flowers that are cascading down and are framing the fountain, as they do here, and they're orchids. This is all stitched with beads. The whole top and the frame are stitched with silks that are so gorgeous and multicolored and stunning. The streams of water are stitched with bugle beads by Mill Hill as well, and are absolutely stunning. And I didn't see it in person, but I saw a video of a Russian stitcher who stitched and I think finished it by now. And it is the most stunning design I've ever seen. The combination of colors on here, the absolutely just genius use of bugle beads to imitate the streams of water falling off the fountain is just, like I said, genius. And the combination of the DMCs with the silks, again, my mind was blown, you guys. So I decided to start it straight away. Basically, I haven't done it just yet. I needed to dye my fabric. I was missing one scroll frame that was a certain size that I needed for this, and I am planning to have a start before you see this video on the 15th. So for now, I'm just going to show you what I've got for it. Like I said, it came with all the things. So there are 4 absolutely stunning colors of silk, and they are Karen Water Lilies. They are, let me show you actually on my piece of fabric that I've done. Let me show you like this. They are all sort of multicolored silk that looks so stunning. I'll show you close-ups when I start the stitching, obviously. So this is the same pine forest. I actually need to check if it's the same dye lot. I've got, I think this is espresso. It's a dark mauvey red with greens and purples and browns. I've got, what else? There is Olive Grove with the greens and the dusty purplish blues. Oh god, I just love this. And then the light color is Cold Glacier, and it's this stunning blue, mint, purple. It's just, all of them are so multicolored and so gorgeous. I cannot. So 4 colors of silks. There's one crinoline that's needed. I have it in my stash, but I haven't pulled it. I'll show you when I start stitching. And then there were quite a few packs of beads here as well. So the one I'm really excited about is this huge size 8 aqua beads. Like I said, we have the stunning silvery bugle beads to imitate the streams of water. This color has to be my favorite bead color in the world. It's a matte, multicolored green that goes from a bright green, grassy green, to an olive, to a brownish, purplish mauve. That kind of goes really well with probably these two silks. Kind of gives me the same feel as these two. There's some beautiful silver ones as well. Again, this is for the water, I'm sure. And then these, and again, you'll see it better when I show you up close when I'm already stitching. This is just stunning. These are used in the flowers, I think. And you know the series of beads that have this rainbow hue on top of them, that are single colored glass beads but have a rainbow hue on top. They are just incredible. So I am in love, as you can tell, obsessed. There's a couple more colors, like a black and a purple and a silver. I'm obsessed. I cannot stop thinking about this design. I want to start it now. I want to have started it a week ago. But I'm being patient and following my November plans. I couldn't find the perfect fabric for it online, and the one that they called for was out of stock in UK, and I would have to wait a couple weeks to get it from US, so I didn't want to do that. So instead of the, I'll put the pattern somewhere else. Instead of the country French rain linen, I am using my hand-dyed. So this is the sort of feel they were going for. Mine's slightly greener, I think, but I love that. So mine is a Witchell 30 count base with teal red dye. And I've done it so it's all a single color, no mottling. It's just, you probably won't be able to see because it's getting washed out a little bit in, oh, there we go. There we go. I just needed to fold it, didn't realize. There we go. It's this really lovely, super light teal. So yeah, here we are. Here are my November plans. I have been stitching on my Playing with Jack's by Cricket collection from 31st of October, Halloween night. I am planning to then, I haven't decided exact order of them yet, but I'm planning to work on my Miss Dancing Flower Mirabilia at some point this month. To start my birthday, start on the 11th, which is an owl forest, which has nothing to do with Nora November, but it's a November video, it's a birthday video, it's a Nora video, it's a vlog. And then I'm planning to start the fountain, like I said, the Goddess Garden, and also stitch on my Siri as well. She's not a Mirabilia, but she is a fancy lady in my eyes because she's amazing and she needs some love, and I haven't stitched on her in a few weeks, so she's going to be worked on as well. And then, like I said, I want to finish off the month by starting the owl. So you will only see 2 weeks worth of stitching in this video, and like I said, I'm hoping to do more of a vlog style kind of video this time for these 2 weeks, and I won't be posting a book flip through this month, and we'll move it to probably December and January and whenever else I have the time. But yeah, this is a very long introduction into my love of Mirabilia. Basically what I'm trying to say is I've joined the cult. Please take my money and give me more gorgeous Mirabilia designs, and I am just so happy and excited, and I think Nora has created something really special, something unique, something that no one has done. I want to say before, but I know her mom was designing Fancy Ladies as well, but they were in a very different style. I feel like her style is very unique and recognizable, and I feel like for me personally, I love the ladies, I love the, you know, the animals as well in the Nora series, but the architectural plus ladies plus flowers designs is like the sweetest spot for me. For some reason, the ladies in the fountain remind me of me and my sister, and though we live apart thousands of miles away, I'm here, she's in Japan, it somehow makes me think of her when I look at this design. And yeah, so that's another sort of warm, cozy feeling I'm getting from this particular design that makes it so special for me, I think. So here's my Mirabilia stash and plans. So I'm hoping to see you guys very, very soon, in the next few seconds, I guess. Hi everyone, today is November 6th. I'm just filming again a bit before I start working from home today, and I wanted to show you what I'm planning to do for the next few days. So I've decided I'm gonna keep it strictly a Mira Nora video, and I'll show you my other autumn and birthday stitching somehow separately, either at the end of the month or in little clips, just as sort of shorts on YouTube. And this is going to be, like I said, just about my FFO that you saw, the WIP that you're seeing now that I'm going to work on, the 2 starts that I'm planning, a Mira and a Nora. So this is, where have I put the bag for it? Right, put it away. So this is Miss Dancing Flower, and I just wanted to show you a bit more about the way I stitch my Mirabilias and organize things. I'll come back to that sheet in a minute. I've got my lovely Dancing Flower in one of the project bags I made. Like I said before, not the best quality fabrics. I've got a bit of defects here and there. So that's pretty much how I organize it. I have a few treasures that are from stash that will replace the ones that are called for, that are very similar, just slightly different colors. And then I've got some of the colors that are needed the most on the floss cards from my master, not from my master, from my leftover set. And then the only silk that you need for this design, which is the Tequila Sunrise by Water Lilies. I've got the paper pattern there. I pretty much take it out once to make a working copy, or to scan it for the to make myself a cross stitch saga file, and then just keep it there for the, you know, for reference if I want to have a look at it while I'm stitching. And so this is the WIP at the moment, and I think I'm at about 17% at the moment. So I started it in May during my mania. I'll show you a bit closer in a second. This is 32 count Crystal Da Vinci linen by Picture This Plus. I really like how it looks and the shine on it. And this is my progress so far. I'm hoping with the new overhead stitchy light you'll be able to see everything really well, and with the colors as well. I'm beading as I go, as you can see. And so my plan is to make a progress over the next sort of 5 days. So I'm planning to do just as much or as little as I want, and stitch on her all the way till the end of the night on Sunday. And then on my birthday on Monday, I'll be starting my Owl Forest, most likely, unless I change my plans. So this is already quite lovely progress. I love the silk here that's variegated. So these petals, let me show you with my scissors. These petals, the pink going into pink and orange, and then pink and orange and yellow, just gorgeous. The only things I'm going to leave till the very, very end is the you know, the larger treasures, because I won't be able to roll them in. So just to give you an idea, again, I stitch on a wooden stand on a scroll frame, which are sewn. Most of mine are at this point. And this is my setup, just rewatching Mrs. Maisel that I haven't had a chance to finish completely. And then I keep a couple of strips of felt usually white, just so it doesn't sort of color my fabric or anything else, to put in between layers when I get to scrolling, which is probably not yet. And then I keep the floss organizer here. So she's got quite a few colors, as you can see, about 30, I think. And I like these. I get them on Amazon, and you can have one for 30 or for 50. And you keep your flosses and your needles organized this way. And then when I'm not working on it or I'm not supervising my desk, I put this away because my cats like to nibble on my needles and try to chew on them. And then in terms of beads, for this one, because it uses quite a lot of colors, I've put away my little glass bottles from my bead storage into this random box I had in one of my gifts. And then once I need the color and I'm going to bead with it, I use my wooden Wonderland organizer that I got on Etsy, I think, but I think some of their stuff is on Create Nostalgia now. And then I just sort of sprinkle a handful of beads of that color into one of the compartments, and they are quite easy to tell apart. And if I'm not sure, I can always double check before I start. And as you can see, I've got the leaves here that I need to stitch the Winter Owl by Nora that I left from the time I stitched the hair. So that's pretty much my setup. I've got my light, like I said, really great. Love it. It's been an absolute game changer. I've got some pumpkins still, not binning them until they go bad. And the sheet that I wanted to come back to, I don't know if that's just me, but you know how Nora doesn't give you the numbers for threads to use for beading. She just says, you know, use the closest one. So I'm trying to be consistent with myself at least. And then I've written out the list of beads that are going to be used in this design. And once I've, you know, done it once and I've stitched one of the beads on, I'll make a note for myself which DMC color I've used. So like I said, I stay consistent and make a note if they're going to be stitched on with half crosses or full crosses. So I keep that in the project bag normally. I've got a cup of tea here, my little wooden bin. Yeah, watching a show, stitching a bit before work, and I'm really hoping to make more progress on her during these next few days. So she is my currently only Mirabilia WIP until I start the fountain that I showed you the other day. What else? I think that's probably it regarding where I'm stitching. So as you saw, I started from the bottom and I'm going up, and that's my preferred way of stitching in general, and Mirabilia's as well. I really want to stitch on this part of her dress with the checkered design and probably go again up somewhere here. So do sort of more of this dark green with an orange. Yeah. And just make more progress. Love this fabric. Need to probably pick up a matching needle minder for this. So here we go. I don't think I'll be doing daily things, but I'll probably just film another little clip at the end of these 5 days or whenever I put her away to show you what I've been able to stitch in this time. And yeah. Hi you guys, it's me again. Today is November 9th. It's actually been a couple of days since I started working or went on working on my dancing flower, which you've just seen. And here is the progress I've made in the last couple of days. So actually did quite a bit of progress. Had quite a lot of time in the last couple of days because I was off work, and I've managed to stitch 2,000 stitches in 2-3 days, 4 maybe. I haven't stitched any today on the 9th. My original plan was to spend 5 days on her and then start both my birthday start and the Goddess Garden on the 11th on Monday. But now I'm thinking that because I've, you know, reached quite a nice milestone, another 2,000 here, I'm gonna just leave it be and move on to the fountain. Before I do though, I want to show you what I've done, a bit of a close-up. So I've worked a lot on this turquoise teal kind of part of her skirt and dress, and I filled in pretty much all of this. And as you can see, I've left the bits for beading for later. Like I said, I'm trying to bead as I go, but just these couple of days I was mostly stitching downstairs on the sofa, and it wasn't convenient to work with beads as well, so I've left them for later. I've started sort of filling in more of the right bottom corner and moving up. And then, as I said, as I wanted to, I have completely stitched this bit with the checkered design in different shades here. It looks so beautiful. I love how she works with shadow and light and different shades of DMC to show, you know, the 3D effect and the the light effect on the colors. I've went on with the garland a bit, but again, haven't had a chance to add any beads yet. So this, if you can believe it, is almost a third of the whole design. It's about 27 or maybe 28%, including beads and backstitch and everything. So that's quite a bit of progress, like I said. So I'm quite happy that I've worked on her for these few days. I feel good to move on and work on something else now, and I think more of a staggered start with the Goddess Fountain and the Birthday Start is a better idea than doing them both on the same day. So what I'm going to do now is I'll show you my materials for the Goddess Garden. I'll show you my fabric, I'll show you how I prep for a start, and then I'll show you probably my first stitches, or maybe come back in a couple of days once I've got a bit of progress. Alright, so here's everything I need to start my new Mirabilia design. And again, I'll show you a bit closer. It is the Goddess Garden, released, I think, only a couple of years ago, if not sort of in the last year or so. And it is based on a fountain in the Botanical Garden in New York, and has gorgeous beads, gorgeous colors, which I'll show you closer in a second. So the code for color is French Rain linen, and I couldn't find it, like I said, and I've dyed my own. You're probably seeing it a bit darker than it is in reality. It's a bit of a lighter minty green. And here's everything I need to stitch it, except for the DMCs and the Krynic. So we have 4 fantastic colors of silk. I love espresso especially. I feel like it's such a beautiful color. Look at this. Look at these variegations. Gorgeous. And we've got loads of gorgeous beads. The larger ones, like I said. Then we've got the silver bugle beads to imitate the streams of water. I am under my stitchy light, so things are glaring off a bit. I do apologize. And these 2 colors at the bottom are probably going to be the most interesting to stitch with. So this one's like mauvey red with greens and blues and purples in it. Absolutely stunning. I think it's going to be used in the flowers. And then this green, like I said to you the other day, is just the most perfect green. Different shades, some more brownish, purplish, matte, grassy green, olive green, just a gorgeous color of beads. And so I've got in my new scroll frame. The only thing we do when we order it, my husband puts extra staples in here. It's not perfect, but it works really well for us. So what I'm going to need to do now that the fabric is fully, so I washed it with soap before I started dyeing it. That's just my process. And this is a 32 count witch as a base. I've added teal liquid red dye, and then dyed it flat at the bottom of my tub because I don't have a proper container to give it a an even color without any mottling. I've dried it and ironed it, and I just folded it in half so you can see the color better. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my sewing machine and sew the ends of both onto my scroll frame. I'm only saying it, in so much detail because people have asked before, so I'm just talking you through the process. I use my sewing machine for that and do as wide of a stitch as I can so it's easy to unpick later when I'm done with the project. So I'm going to do that now, and I'm probably going to meet you a bit later to show you some progress. My plan is to stitch on it over the weekend and probably show you some progress maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday, and then on Monday I'll start my birthday start. I'm going to start from the bottom of the design. That's where I like and prefer to start my designs. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to go straight into the frame or start with the fountain base with the water first. I think I've put it away somewhere, but basically for the DMC colors, I have prepared myself the same kind of organizer. This is the one from the Dancing Flower. I've prepared the same kind of organizer with flosses and needles, and as you can see, I use one needle per color, so it's easier and quicker to stitch. If you have any left over, you just leave it on there and then come back to it later, unless you've already stitched the whole of the color, which Cross Stitch Saga will show me. So I'm really, really excited, especially to open up and start stitching with these silks. Really excited, and I'm going to see you guys in a bit and show you what I've done. And good morning. Today is November 10th, and I wanted to share my first few 100 stitches on the Goddess Garden that I started yesterday. As you can see, all secured onto the sew-on scroll frame. I've added my side stretchers and started from the bottom middle of the design. And I started with this lovely espresso silk by Karen Waterlilies, and it's just such beautiful variegation, going from like an almost greenish brown into more of a mauve and a pink and back, and I think there's some green shades in it as well in some other parts of it. So I had a really good time stitching on it yesterday. It's going quite quickly, to be honest with you, because they are big blocks of color. Black is shining through a little bit on camera, but it's a bit better in person. And I've basically gone from the middle at the bottom all the way to the left bottom corner. I wanted to check my margins as well, just in case. And while I was stitching it, a feeling wouldn't leave me that the stitches are too big for 32 count. They seem more like 28. And I know this linen is quite sort of thin and see-through. You can see even now, you know, it's a darker shade because it's got my desk mat underneath. But yeah, so I've double checked and turns out it's not 32 count, it's 30 count. And it was mislabeled when I bought it. So I got this big piece from Facebook Marketplace from someone. They had they had a couple of those really large pieces, and this is the one that was supposedly 32 and looks like Witchold, but I'm not sure if Witchold make 30 count, but it feels, you know, more sort of stiff and starched. Which is still all fine. For some reason, before I started it, I had a hunch I need to cut myself a larger piece of fabric for this, and I did, and so I should be fine with margins, as you can see. I wanted to leave it more air for when I'm framing it, but still I think I'll be just fine. The color of the linen is slightly different. Let me see if adjusting the light will help. Maybe. Then you see the shadows. Yeah, it's a lovely minty green teal, and so yeah, so I've started with the silks, done some of the basin of the fountain, and I'm starting to stitch the water and the base of the statue itself. I think about 800 stitches. It was really nice and easy. We're playing currently Last of Us Part 2. My husband is playing and I'm sitting next to him and stitching while also kind of participating in the game. So there we go. Really happy with the design, really happy with the colors and the color of linen that I've hand dyed. So I don't think it's going to be a difficult project at all. Everything is quite logical and simple. Everything, you know, colors sort of build on top of each other. It also is not as big as my other Miras, which are about 20,000 stitches, and this one is about 13 or 14. And so we'll see how it goes and how much progress I'll be able to make today. But I'm hoping to keep it in more or less active rotation so I can make progress on it consistently. Maybe not even put it away until it's done, and so make a couple thousand progress every month. So really happy with this, and I'll see you guys tomorrow once I've had more progress on it today. Hi you guys, today is Friday, November 15th, and I was meant to film much earlier than today, but life got in the way. Had a wonderful birthday, went for a trip to a lovely bookstore, and had some fun, some great food and stuff, and then we had a couple of days of renovation, so I haven't been stitching as much, and I've just realized while editing the video that I forgot to sort of wrap it up and finish it off for you. So here's my progress that I made on the Goddess Garden by the Mirabilia in the 2 days that I worked on it. I added another 400 stitches and reached 9 and a bit percent, so that's quite good progress. I've added the second silk. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, there's this lovely bluish purple that is called Glacier, I think, and I would really love to come back to it. So I've only managed to stitch 1,000 stitches on my birthday start, and it wasn't really like dragging me in and, you know, getting me very excited, but I've been meaning to come back to my second Mirabilia, and I'm going to do that in the next few days. So I had the best time, loved working on her so much, on it, and yeah, I'll come back to it soon enough. And the last thing I wanted to share with you in this video is my planned start. I was hoping I might have time to do it during my holiday, but I don't think I will. I might start it on Monday 18th, but because I'm still off, but then I don't know if I'll have enough time that day besides other things. So I'm planning to start Winter Owl by Nora Corbett, and the brand is Nora Corbett as well, as a companion piece to my winter hair. And I just wanted to show you what I've prepared for it, all of the specialty materials, and then I think I'm gonna wrap up this video. So I'm stitching it on the same fabric I've used for the winter hair. This is Dawn by Picture This Plus, and it's a 32 count linen. It's more teal than you're seeing on camera. You're seeing more of a dark blue. I've marked myself the center of the design, I think, and here are some of the materials I'm going to use. So I've got these lovely leaves that I'm going to sew on. If you buy the embellishment pack, which I believe you can buy for each of those, you will get 3 in each. But if you buy the leaves individually yourself, one pack has 2, so you need 3 packs to stitch both the hair and the owl. It also calls for Whisper that I used in the winter hair. However, as I've already complained, it's a bit uneven in terms of wispiness, so I might replace it with this Scanfill wool, or I might use one of the colors of Riolis woolen acrylic blend that I have in stash, or I might just go with Whisper. We'll see how it goes. I've got one lovely silk color that I'm going to use on this design, which is the same as the color you need for the winter hair, and it's Pine Forest. Beautiful greens turning into blues, and I'm gonna need it for my mermaid as well, and I have the same color in my fountain that I'll be using later. There are 2 fantastic colors of beads. So this cream pearly white and a translucent red with, yes, with a rainbow shimmer. You can see now when it's out of focus. And then the last bit I'll need is a cry neck, just this lovely magenta color. Mine is an L. They're asking for highlighter, but I'm sure this will be fine. Anyways, it's only being used in a bit of backstitch. So this is my plan in terms of Mira and Nora for the rest of the month in terms of starts. And like I said to you before, I'm hoping to come back and stitch some more on the Goddess Garden fountain and have some lovely progress. Ideally, it would be nice to just completely stitch the owl, but I'm not sure if that's going to be possible with the time I have left this month, but we'll see. So I'm going to wrap this up. I thank you very much for watching this video and joining me on this little Mira and Nora journey in November. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found something interesting or useful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below or message me on Instagram, Maria_the_Green_Stitcher. Have a wonderful, stitchy rest of your November, and I will see you guys at the end of the month in a monthly wrap-up video where I'll share with you all of my progress on all of my Noras and Miras, and also my starts and progress on my other autumn stitching, including my birthday start. Thank you. Bye.